Welcome back to Candlestick College. This is week 1, day 5. So hopefully everyone is still in the right spot and progressing right along. We're making some great progress in week 1 of chart basics. And we're just going to zoom right into chart basics to see where we are in the course. And we are in day 5, and it is called time frame. And we're going to spend all day today talking about the time frame because it's super important. Just a little refresher from yesterday. The time is on the x-axis, and it is the independent variable. And you set your time frame. So your time frame could be as long as 2 decades if they have price history for that long, if the company's been in existence for that long, or it can be as narrow as 1 day. So it's really important to understand what you're looking at before you even decide anything about a trade at all. You want to know your time frame. It's definitely the most important thing to know. So here's an example of the S&P 500 as far out as FinViz allowed me to take it, and it is spanning about 20 years, 2 decades, and I relate this to zoomed out on the Earth so you can see it from outer space, right? That's how far zoomed out you are. And so if we were to zoom in a little bit further onto an area, let's say it was just the last 5 years or something, that would be related to like zooming in on North America, right? Because we're a little bit closer, but we're still pretty far out to what's happening on the day-to-day. And so that's how I made that relationship. So it's like zooming in on North America. And you can see we're going from 2019 to about 2014, so it's about 5 years. And then if you wanted to zoom in even further, the next would be, this is the monthly chart, and you can see about 1 year of price history here, and this would be like zooming in on America. So we keep zooming in on these views. And if we wanted to get even closer, we could zoom in onto what is called the weekly chart. And this gives you a more defined view, and that would be like zooming in on California or like a coastline of some sort, to where you can make out some of the features like the forest and the snow caps and the ocean, right? And if you wanted to zoom in even further, you wanted to get into the actual day, to where the beginning is the beginning of the day and the end is the end of the day. So each of these candles represents just 5 minutes. So it's pretty amazing the level of detail that you can get down to in terms of price movement. And I like to relate that to really zoomed in to where you can make out the houses on the coast, basically. That's what this is. And so you can see how, if you're looking at the big picture, like zoomed all the way out, you're looking at Earth as a whole, it's completely different as to where if you're zoomed in looking at houses, you know, you can't spot a house if you're looking at the Earth from outer space, right? And that would be like trying to make a long-term trade, but only looking at the short-term data. And that's the best way I can relate it to you. So those are the main concepts that I wanted to cover in day 5 today. And your homework assignment today is you want to pull up a chart of a company you find interesting. It could be the same chart that you used on day 3. And you're going to want to change the time frame to weekly. And you can do this in stock charts. You can pull down the drop-down menu and the time from daily, it's going to be set at daily. You're going to want to change that to weekly. And then once you change it to weekly, determine the range on the x-axis and then determine the range on the y-axis. And I gave you an example here of Disney, how this is the weekly chart, and I didn't quite fill out the ranges, but you can tell that the ranges are going to be different because you have a different time frame, right? So you're going to want to calculate the ranges very similar to how you calculated it for yesterday. Just you're going to want to fill in the different time frames, beginning and ending, and then the different range in the Y. And then that's going to conclude week number 1, and you can get ready to take the first quiz, and I wish you the best of luck. You can rewatch these episodes as many times as you want, but you can only take the quiz once, so don't screw it up, and I wish you luck.